Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm here today with Amy, who is the email marketing expert inside of our Launchpad program. Amy, do you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Deb. I'm Amy from Sync Savvy Digital. I'm a Klaviyo specialist, so I help e-commerce businesses set up their Klaviyo accounts and also do some training and things like that so that they know how to run it themselves and they're not sort of left after the fact. I'm trying to figure everything out. So, yeah, just a quick intro. That's me.
Basically, an email marketing ninja and Klaviyo superhero woman, superwoman. This is Amy's URL below. If you need help with email marketing and almost specifically with Klaviyo, she's your girl. And then as you can see, people are starting to join in, but I'll just share this URL for a little longer. And then also, if you'd like help doing things yourself, Amy has some training, so you can check this this URL here. And then the both of us are inside of our Ecommerce Launchpad program as well, which is right here. And that covers more than email, but it's really to help you get your sales up on your own e-commerce website from, messaging, branding, website, email, social media, and ads. With that said, what are we doing today? We're having some fun. We have some emails to share with you. I'll put that on my screen really soon. That are from a jewelry brand called Creek and Elm. And these emails are getting good engagement in the sense of open rate. So on average, we're going to try and look at 3 to 4 emails together. They have between 46 and 52% open rate, which is really decent. That's from an engaged segment as well. What we're seeing though is that once the emails get open, they don't get clicked on. And so obviously, that's not going to generate sales. So when you're looking at your email kind of strategy, you always want to start from the top metric, which is like your open rate. If people are not opening your emails, then that's what we have to fix first. And this could be deliverability, this could be email subject lines. But then if they are opening and then we're not seeing sales or we're not seeing click, we have to look at the design and the content and the messaging and how the email is structured. And that's really what we're going to focus on today. So how to get your click-through rate and your sales up from your emails. The conversion on the website is decent as well. I think we're about 2.3, 2.5% on the website. So it's really, basically fixing that problem for Zach, who's the owner behind Creek and Elm, would really help push the sales. So I'm excited to pinpoint some things that could be improved. I'd love to know, actually, is Zach, if you're watching live, I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to make it. I think it's kind of family time maybe at the moment for him where he is, but let us know in the comments so that we can see, and then we can do a bit of back and forth as well. Hi, Deepa. I use Klaviyo. Klaviyo's great. Klaviyo's the best. Best in class. Something else I wanted to quickly share with you guys is if you are not sure what makes a good open rate, what makes a good click rate, I always recommend to go to the benchmark that Klaviyo has. They do a new one every year. It's completely free. I think you just have to put your email address to get it. If you just type in like Klaviyo benchmark, you'll get access to a report and you see averages for newsletters like your broadcast, also for your automation, what's a good open rate, click rate, placed order rate. And you can really start comparing it by niche as well. So if you sell jewelry, it's going to be slightly different than, home decor, etc. And so it's really good to have those benchmark by niche. But typically, I think the average click-through rate across all niche is at around 1.5. And the best of class, people who do really well are towards the 5%. That's a really engaged, that's a really, really good click-through rate. The emails we're looking at today are all under 1%. So we're between 0.2 to 0.6% click-through, which is obviously something we need to work on. Okay, so I'll just share. Oh, this is tiny. Let me zoom in. I cannot read.
Does it let you zoom in?
I think so. Is it zooming in now? It's a little bit pixelated when I zoom in because the email is very, very long. So I think that's why the screenshot ended up like that. But we're still able to see. We can still read and see, I think. Is that all right like that, Amy?
Yeah, that looks fine.
Okay, cool. So I might actually just very quickly show you the emails we're looking at. So there's this one, there's another one here. I'll zoom in on that one as well. So that's a bit too much. We'll be able to scroll, and then we'll look at this one too. So do you want to start, Amy, with some overall thought that we've had when we looked at the emails that we want to maybe keep in mind for all of them, and then we can go into each email separately?
Yeah, so I think one of the major things, especially probably on this first one more so than the others, and it's something that I see a lot when I work with clients as well, is making sure that the email is quite simple. I think people get caught up in, wanting to make the graphic design part of it so amazing or so, include so much information that they sort of move away from the simplicity. Like, I think simplifying is always better, and having a very clear call to action. It should be, when you look at your emails as a whole, there should be a clear hero image of, what it is that you're talking about, a little bit of information, and a very clear button to say, this is what I want you to do. So yeah, I think looking at this one, even just in that first section that you've got there on the screen, there's a lot happening. So I think, you've got, just in that small section, you've got 2 buttons that I can see. It's a little bit hard to see, but the 2 buttons there, and it can just be a little bit overwhelming, I think, for some people, and they'll go, oh, I've got to take all of that information and I'll come back to it later or something. And then, you get 10 other emails throughout the day. It can be it's just a bit too much. So I think sometimes just simplifying and just making sure that call to action is very clear. And I just can't, hang on, let me just open mine up a little bit bigger. Yeah, so we've got shop now and get yours today. Even having something like view the entire collection, or, something like that then shows the person who's looking at the email that there is more to see than just what's here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think definitely, like, my first impression when I opened this email was a bit scattered. Like, I didn't really know. My eye kept going from basically that big red circle, then the red button that says shop now. But at this point, I don't have enough information to be willing to click on it, because it's just the first thing is the button. Yep. Then I have text, another button, and the fireworks are pretty, but they kind of make my eye go into this kind of like zigzag motion where I'm not actually stopping on anything significant. And so it looks pretty. It looks like an exciting email. Like, design-wise, it looks really good and it looks professional, but it's not actually really efficient at like stopping my eyes where, like, on purpose on some headings or on some information, and then calling me to action with a proper call to action. Even like get yours today, as you were saying, it's what am I getting today? Because at the top, I've got different earrings, and then, so I don't know what to expect when I click on that. Something like check out the full collection or check out the 4th of July collection or something like that is already a little bit more clear. I know, okay, if I click on that, I'm going to be taken to a page where I'll see all the design for the 4th of July. I think this was for the 4th of July. Very Australian crew today here, so you have to forgive us. But yeah, I think that it is, I often talk in messaging when we write copy and content, not trying to be clever and trying to be clear. It's a little bit the same with design here, where we're trying to be so well designed that we've lost clarity in the process. And so I think it's really a matter of actually doing less with the design and really simplifying.
Yeah, and the other thing that, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, is if I had have received emails from this business in the past where they're all beautifully on brand, you've got everything matches, say, the website, and then all of a sudden I received this, it's very different to the feel. And I don't know what your thoughts are, but I feel like my preference would be, like, I understand the angle that Zach's going for in the red and the white and the blue and that sort of thing. But I think it's still important to keep it on brand, and then having little pieces of what the promotion's about. So yes, it's about, like you said, we think it's about the 4th of July. So, just the hero image containing blue and red and white, but then keeping the rest of the email on brand. So when someone opens that, they can then, in their mind, they might have already received 6 or 10 emails from that business, and they've already got that brand in their mind. Oh, that's the business. When I signed up to the emails, this is what I was interested in. For them to then receive an email like this, they might not be able to connect that, emails A through to whatever, like the first 10 emails were for this particular business that I loved. Now all of a sudden I'm getting this one, is like, where did this come from? Who are these people? And it's a whole different visual to the actual brand itself. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think as well, it actually, it hides the design of the product a bit. Like the products aren't the star of the show in this email, but it's like a celebration of 4th of July. It feels like happy, feels celebratory, but it's so bold and colorful and different colors than his brand generally, which, by the way, is a bit more like this or this, a lot more toned down neutral colors than what this is. And so the product get a bit lost as well, because the colors themselves could do the job of doing they are blue, white, and red. And if we actually sold those more and had maybe different product shots that were a little bit more focused on the design and the pattern and the colors of those, it would probably be enough with a banner that says it's a Stars and Stripe collection, be enough to have that vibe without taking it so far away from what the brand is usually.
Yeah.
I'll scroll down a little bit on it too for that second section. So this one here, Zach, maybe you can let us know. I think the image would have been clickable, I assume. If they're not, definitely, guys, never have an image that people can't click unless it's very clearly something that's not a product. And, but typically all of this should be click, like we want to be able to click and go to each of the product. But for me, when I looked at that first, it's kind of like a portfolio. I don't actually see a button. I don't actually see a link to click. And you have different people in your audience. You have people who click on images. You'll have people who just like buttons. And you'll have people who actually like a good old hyperlink, like just a bit of text, like click here, and then that takes them there. And we kind of have to cater for all of them. At the moment, if I'm not like I might just think this is a pretty gallery of image and you're just showing the collection to me, it's not obvious at all that I can actually click on anything. And I get a little confused as well. So I think the 2 first images are for the same product, and we have the product shot and then the model shot. And then I think the image below, same thing, but for another product. To me, that was confusing. Are there 4 different products? The 2 model shots are almost the same. So again, visually, it makes my eyes kind of like skip over in like this diagonal, like following a hair, basically. And so I'm not anchored, like my eyes don't stop on something where I can take action and actually click. There's nothing that's going to, like, I don't see somewhere that tells me, click here, do this, basically.
Yeah, so I just read Zach's note there. I don't know if you want me to say this, but I'll record a video on how to do 2 separate columns with different clickable links, and I'll pop it into the forum for you, Zach, so that you can do 2 separate product images, and then have them both clickable separately as well.
That would be great. Yeah, because I can see. So Zach said in the comment, because I think in the replay we're going to lose this live conversation, so I'll just read it to people who are watching the replay. They are the same product, he said, those 2 rows basically. Well, no, it's 1 product per row, but there's 2 columns, there's 2 images of the same products. And since they're image slices, I had to have the same products across horizontally. This was designed in Canva and moved over in image slices. What's your thought on that, actually, Amy, as well? Do you think that sometimes it's just as easy and maybe helps keeping things simple to just design with the Claveo blocks as much as possible?
Yeah, so I think designing, people look at it differently. Some people like to design it in Canva so that they have the full layout, they can see what it looks like, they can tweak things. Then you can slice it up. Like I have clients who use graphic designers, and they'll send me all the individual slices of the email. You can still use an image slice out of Canva in a collection like this, but you just have to slice it down the middle as well, and then have 2 columns, or use a table so that you can still have them separate, and then you can link to product A and link to product B, and they can be next to each other. Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with using Canva to create the images themselves. Where possible, you want to use the actual blocks inside Klaviyo for text, because you don't want to have a very image heavy email. There needs to be a more even split of text to image ratio.
Yeah, that's important actually. Is like, I think that's a really good takeaway for you, because you don't want, this is where the design takes over the clarity, where like we've been limited by what we could do with the slices, which we can help you currently. Amy can help you fix that and show you how to do it differently. But when you start with Canva and you want it to look the same as in Canva, but it can't really go into Klaviyo properly, then you start losing the strategy, which is these products should be different. Maybe I should have a button, I should have a URL. If you don't know how to do that with image slices, then you kind of like, you lose your strategy because you're focusing too much on the design. And that's where we're trying to be. It's kind of like the clever versus clear in messaging, is overly designed versus actually simple and more efficient maybe. So I think this email overall, lots of information, not much call to action. It's not very clear where I'm clicking, what, like it's generally quite a confusing email with very few opportunities to actually have a click and a call to action, if I don't think myself of clicking on those images. And I think here, we have another image here.
And just on that, just because we know what we want people to do when they receive the email, they may not. It needs to be, it's why it's called, a call to action. What is it that we want to push them to do, or gently encourage them to do? We want to make sure that as soon as they open this email, there is something right in their face saying, this is what I want you to do. And if somebody who, they're not inside your head, that they don't know, they could scroll down and see those images of the collection and go, oh, is that all there is? Well, I don't need to click. I've seen the images. There's heaps of information here. That's it. Whereas, just changing that from, if you scroll back up, Deb, there's the heading on that. It says the collection. So someone look at that and go, oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're the 3 products that are in the collection. Nah, they're not for me. I don't need to do anything. But if you worded that differently, and I'm not sure, like sometimes you might say bestsellers, but if these are brand new, then obviously you're not going to have bestsellers yet. But that's something that you could.
It's like top picks, our favorite, top picks is a good one if you don't really, it's kind of like, these are the one we picked to put in the email, basically. It's like top picks.
And then adding that button that says view the entire collection, or something like that prompts them to say, yes, we have these and we think these are the best, but we've got more. It's that, adds that little bit of mystery, so that people want to see. How many times do people put up links and things like that in their stories, and it may not necessarily be something they're interested in, but they want to click on it because they want to know what's behind the button. Yeah.
It needs to be clear where they're going to be taken, because it's actually a big ask for someone to click on an email. Everyone's too busy, and it's like, where am I going? And is this clear enough? Last thing I want to say as well is the text itself on those, just here, blue star, cork, teardrops, available in medium or mini size. Sorry, it's a bit pixelated, so I can't read properly. But basically, this is not really benefit, or it's very feature oriented. Like, I know it's teardrops, I have the size, all of that. I think this can be left to kind of like the product page for me to discover the 2 sizes, instead of going with something, and I don't know if this is the angle that you would take, but like perfect for 4th of July celebration, but also like if you look at this actual design, very much something you can then reuse any other, they're cute star earrings basically. So, you could have a little sentence there explaining that they're perfect for this time of the year, but also like something that you'll be able to reuse. That's already feeling a little bit more benefit oriented and a bit more like proper sales copy than what feels like a title of a product and a bit almost SEO friendly, like blue star, cork, teardrops. Like that's not drawing me.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Cork and Hexagon in red and blue styles. Again, like I think you could have a bit of copy here. That's a bit more salesy is not the word, but yeah, benefit oriented rather than just describing the product name here.
Yeah, and I think even in that section where it's a collection, I wouldn't necessarily have much text in there at all. I would have, 4 or 6 images of the product with a clear button that's that's intriguing, to say like this is what we've got, but we've got more, so check these out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to have that text under there at all. You're going to have that information under the product description. So
yeah,
whether it's relevant or not.
Yeah. All right, I'll move to email 2. Do I need to zoom in, Amy, or is it fine?
Let me see. No, I think that one's okay. The copy on there is a little bit clearer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you go. You start.
Zach. Oh yeah, I was just going to say, it says Zach at the top because obviously that's, I think, his email that he's received for himself, but that would be everyone's first name. So if I received it, it would say Deb, limited stock left. Just want to make that clear for people so they don't wonder why we have Zach at the top there.
Yeah, so I think this one's better in terms of the simplicity. What I would like to see in this hero image is that it's very product focused. Even if you wanted to use the picture of the person with the earrings on, the triangle really takes away from what it is exactly that we're looking at. If you think about a triangle, your focus is probably more towards the middle, the center. And I mean, it looks like it's a bit small, but it looks like half of the earring is actually cut off.
Yeah, and her face as well, which is a weird feeling. It feels like we're missing half a face.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this sort of thing, if you wanted to use like a model shot or something like that, you could have the whole model's face showing and then have like a box next to it that is zoomed in on the earring, or a box next to it that shows just the product sitting on a stand or something like that. So it really highlights and focuses in on what it is that we should be looking at.
Yeah, on the product, especially this angle here is like this particular product is basically about to go like very limited stock left. We really need to understand what the product is. When I look at it, I feel like it's not uncomfortable, but I'm like, oh, why is she half cut? Like it feels like she shouldn't be split. Like we're missing one eye, and it just feels it's an odd first impression. I wonder if I wouldn't actually probably use a triangle, to be honest, and do what you said, which is just a full image of the middle shot or like an earring on a stand or something like that. But if you really wanted to do a triangle, I would also kind of think of actually flipping it so that not only you're getting the eye to go down to where the button is or the next text is, but also you'd probably be able to have her face and the earrings and then cutting on her chest rather than the opposite. I also, as I'm opening it, I'm not, Zach, limited stock left. I don't know of what, like there's again an element of what you're talking about, so it's clear to you. But for me, and I might not even have opened all your emails previously. Maybe this is the first email I've opened in 10 days from you or something, it's been 3 weeks, who knows? And I'm just like, I feel like I'm being thrown in something. I don't really know what it is. Limited stock left of what, take a look of what, before I'm told, oh, it's the hibiscus pattern that's disappearing. Disappearing may be weird language here too. Like, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
Let me scroll down. And I won't be able to get any more. I have a few of each of these styles left, but when they're gone, they're gone. Hurry and get yours today. Here, I'm like, who's talking? But that's maybe, I don't know. Do you usually use the first person or the or we when you write?
It depends on the brand. Oh, are you talking about me, or are you asking?
Oh, I was asking Zach. You can do both. It definitely depends on the brand. But for some reason, in this email was what we have. I'll zoom out a tiny little bit. Like when that's all I've seen, it feels a little bit. I'm feeling a bit like, what are they talking about? And then who is talking? And there's just more questions than answers and call to action. Yeah. Usually we. Usually we. Okay, so then I'd keep it at we, and I think it would even like the hibiscus pattern is disappearing, and I won't be able. There's just the flow here is a little off, I think.
Yeah, and I think just making like what we spoke about with the other email is making sure that call to action is clear. You know, take another look or take a look. As you were saying, we're not 100% sure what's happening. So yeah, I think with a clearer hero image where we can say, oh, okay, yep, that's what this is about. It's about earrings. And then if you say limited stock, well, then it's obvious. It's limited stock of this particular item. And then even changing that button copy to be a little, time sensitive. Things like, see what's left, last chance to shop, the hibiscus or something like that. And I'm not sure, based on, I haven't looked at the website, but based on comparing these two emails, again, with the brand recognition, while the business logo is more obvious in this one, I'm just not sure that the fonts and colors are representative of the brand, but I'm not sure what the colors and stuff look like on the website. So
this one actually feels pretty on brand. I'll show you very quickly just the a snapshot of the website. Where am I? Share screen, just so you can see very quickly. That's the website. So we are more on brand with this email than we were on the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can see that. So I think that's a lot better in terms of brand recognition. And then there's some really nice product images there that could just be used as a smaller overlay on that hero image that really showcases, okay, this is what it is.
I'll go back to the emails. Another thing, again, regarding the clarity for me on, where are they here? Is so basically it's disappearing. To me, it's not really clear what that means. Limited stock, running low, only a few left. That's clear to me. And I won't be able to get any more. A bit redundant, because it's like, if you've already just told me it's going, so I don't think you need to kind of insist on that. But then you say, I have a few of each of these styles left, but I have no idea which styles you're talking about. And for you, it's clear because you probably know it's the pattern, like from the maker perspective. So I know Zach's wife actually makes a product. Zach is the marketing business guy. That's how they split the business tasks. And you probably talk to her and she's like, well, I don't know, I'm making it up. Maybe that's not what's happening. But the hibiscus kind of pattern is maybe what she can't get more of. But you might have a round version, a teardrop version, a triangle version, etc. And they're all basically running out because she can't get this exact pattern anymore. To you, that's clear. And that's why you're like, I have a few of each of these styles left. But to me, I'm like, well, you just said it was going, but then there's more and there's different styles. Like, what are they? Because you haven't explained the styles. So it's all, again, a little bit confusing. And at this point, like we're diving in and we're really reading everything, but people are not going to give you that time basically to try and figure that out. They'll just kind of leave and go, don't know what that was about. Next email.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Telling a little bit more of a story. But yeah, I think, that bottom section, it's sort of reiterating what there already is at the top. You could use some, as you said, if they have different shapes in that particular pattern, you could have those featured at the bottom so that people are aware. Or again, you could have that view the collection of this particular style or this particular pattern, and taking people through to the website. So encouraging them that if they like this one and this one's no longer available, we also have these. So click here to view them. That could help increase that click as well.
Yeah. And yeah, if you have like the round and then the teardrop, you could have them like that. And so low stock on all of these. And when they're gone, they're gone. And then I can see them. I can see the one I like. I can see the button, which by the way, I'd make this button much more buttony. We don't really see it there. And that's kind of like your main call to action. And it's basically merging into the background. So I'd make that like a solid color, much bigger. And again, Charlie, Elizabeth, Cora, I don't know what that means. You do, and you probably know, oh, that's the round and the teardrop or the whatever, but I don't really know what that means.
So Zach's just said that bottom image is a GIF with the 3 styles rotating.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have an issue with GIFs. Sometimes a GIF is good as the hero image because it can be quite eye-catching. For this particular section of the email, it's fine to use a GIF, and without knowing exactly how many different product types that you have or style types that you have in this pattern, that could depend on whether I would suggest using it or not. But this email, there's a design that's called an inverted pyramid. So it's where you start out with your hero image as the main focus, then you have a little bit of copy, and then you have your call to action, and it's pushing people in that direction of this is where we want your eyes to go. So with this email, that would be a good thought to have when designing this one. So it is really pushing people into, having that button underneath the copy that's very clear. You could use that more bold pinky color that says, view the collection or whatever it is that you decide to call it, but it's pushing people's eye down towards that. Because as you said, that button there, you can see even on this screen that it's kind of blended into that background color. So it makes it a little bit hard to, it doesn't pop.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder of the invert pyramid, whatever it's called. I call it the pyramid, but it's like a flipped one. Yep. Is it invert, revert? What is it?
Inverted, so it just means it's upside down.
Yeah. That one, and then the zigzag sort of flow as well. Zach, I'm pretty sure we have a video, or at least a link to a video in the Launchpad course where I walk through a few examples of those. They're very simple layout that you can kind of reuse always, where you're taking the eye down to the call to action, or you have sort of like the zigzag, and you're helping with the design, the eye to kind of follow a pattern. Okay, Amy, should we do? Oh, it's already been 30 minutes. Jeez, that went fast. Do you have another 5, Amy, or do you have to go?
No, I can hang around for a little bit.
Let's take another 5 to do that last one, and then I think that'll be it. It's similar advice that we're starting to see anyway, but so this one's pretty clear, nicely zoomed in. Save 25% this weekend only with code MD25. Okay, I'll just scroll so everyone can see, and then that's kind of the end of the email. We'll just have the sign off here and the footer links. What's your thoughts?
So again, this one doesn't feel as on brand. I mean, now that I know that pink color is more brand orientated. This one, I think maybe they've tried to sort of go with the purple because of the purple of the top. I don't know, could be wrong. Or if the product, I can't really see it very well. But I mean, again, making sure that product is front and center, because am I looking at this email because she's wearing a purple top? That's sort of where my eye goes. My eye goes, okay, banner at the top is purple. Her top is purple. That's sort of where my head goes. We're not being really obvious about the product. So yeah, I think making sure that that's the focus. And what have we got? 25% off store-wide sale. Even just, instead of using a heading like or a button like now live,
Yeah, now live. Actually, to be honest, when I first looked at that email, I was like, well, there's no button. So I wouldn't have a clue where to click or what to do. Then I realized now live is the button, but it just looks like text with a pretty outline around it. And it doesn't give me click here indications at all. So if you actually look at that email, there is no call to action for me. So I can't click. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and even if you do want to use a button in an image like that, so as an overlay, just make it stand out. So you could have the button white with purple writing or something, because that would stand out a lot more than having it as a clear background or transparent background, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and just now live is also not a call to action. Literally, a call to action needs a verb in it that tells me what, like an action verb. So click to shop, check out the sales, get yours. I don't know exactly, like there's so many ones that you can use, but now live is more of a information piece.
Telling you what.
Yeah, it's not telling me what to do or that I should click. The other thing to keep in mind here again, Zach, is you have, and that's pretty hard to do, but we have to as marketers. Remember, people don't know the half of what we know about a business, not even a fifth of what we know. It's, if I haven't opened your email, because when you look at your open rate, you're like, oh, 50%. So 50% of people open my email, but it's never the same 50% of people. So someone might have opened last your email 3 weeks ago, and now this subject line talked to them, they open it, they were curious. I forgot. In 3 weeks, I got like hundreds and hundreds of emails, like, over all these days. And so I might not remember. As you said, like, is this the top? I can see an earring, but it is not super prominent. I don't really know what we're selling and what the sale is for and what I'm going to get. So you have to kind of remember that as well. And we always have to make it super clear. So I think a stronger focus on the product in the image here would be better. I'm wondering also if it would be good to have, so another section here where we could highlight the best sellers or categories highlight, where it can go like, save on hoops, save on dangling, save on dangling. Dangle? What are they called? My God, this is definitely not called dangling, but anyway, you get my point. Save on studs, save on, just something that also shows me like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, that brand, and that's what they have, and it's clear like where I can go either with the best sellers or some kind of like product recommendation or category recommendation.
Category would be really good for sales. Like having the categories highlighted in the email instead of specific products can work really well, because if somebody's got an event coming up or they just like to wear a specific style, it does help prompt that, oh, I'd love some new studs, or I'd love some new grips, or whatever it is. I'll just click there, see what they've got, and it takes them to that collection, and then they can have a look at it that way. And just going back to that hero image, just something that I was thinking about was, even because the copy's on the image itself, this email will be very image heavy. So making sure that the copy that you are using on the image is very clear, and it's pointing them towards what we want them to do. So I would probably suggest having the business logo separate from that image, so it's sitting above it, and then just having the 25% off store wide this weekend only, use code MD25 at checkout, and then that clear call to action that is really highlighted, and using that inverted pyramid again in that copy. You can use the copy over the image if you like, but it's drawing the eye down to, these are the products. You can have that picture of the product, you can still have the copy on the image, and making sure that button's really clear. And then if they do choose to keep scrolling because they want some more information, then having the collections would be quite clickable, if that makes sense. I think that would be very helpful.
Sorry, I was muted to drink. I think even this big block, it's 3-line, but use code MD25 to save 25% on your purchase this Mother's Day weekend. Actually breaking it up a bit instead of just having sale. Like, I think I had some notes here, Amy, from you. But we have headline 25% off store wide. That's the headline here. Maybe you would make that a little bit bigger. This weekend only. And then use code MD25 at checkout and Sunday. Just like a little shorter, kind of like clear sentences rather than the whole sentence with all the info in it on the code and the weekend and the percentage off. And it's all a lot, this sentence, for our little brains when we read our emails. I mean, because I'm laughing because it's like, it's not a difficult sentence to understand, but like you're scanning it, it's got to be quick. Like the information's got to be able to like be read super quickly, brief sentences that just kind of highlight basically how much it is, what it is, when it ends.
Yep. And I think
then shop the sale now was the call to action we were probably going to go for instead of now live, shop the sale.
Yeah. And I think I read something recently that was talking about the fact that the vast majority of people don't actually read emails anymore. They literally scan them. They skim over them. If they don't get the information super quickly, they move on. If they have to, and I mean, I know as well for me, if I get sent an email that I have to read, I'll be quickly scrolling my phone. I'll see it and I'll be like, I'll have to come back to it. Yeah. Because I want to make, if it's something that's of interest to me and I want to know what it is, I know I need to be in the right place, right time to actually read it. Otherwise it's a quick scan. Nope, not for me. Move on. Absolutely. So making it as clear as possible is really important.
Yeah. Very similar to when we design websites and we really look at, you have to design for the scanners because that's like 90% of people. And then those who scan and are like, oh, that is actually quite interesting and I'm going to go for more information. It's going to be in the, more details. It's going to be in the product description, but most people very briefly scan. That's why we use icon and trust and badges and very clear titles. And you can't expect people to put a lot of effort into reading, and you have to keep in mind they don't know anything about your business. Even those who open emails quite frequently, like it's always good to give more context and to really explain things super clearly. So it's like clarity over design. If you had this email as a purely text email, almost, maybe not. Maybe we want an image to a product, but that was like, hey, Zach, we're having a 25% off store-wide sale. It's valid this weekend only. Click here to shop. And then 3 categories. It would have been so much clearer because it's just like, it's not as pretty or fancy, but it's clear and my brain gets the information in super, super quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
Zach, does that help? Hey, Cindy. Hey, Path. Can see some new people have arrived while we were chatting as well. But Zach, unless you have any specific questions or comments or anything like that, and obviously we're both in the Launchpad as well, so you get us behind the scenes as well. We can keep diving into that. I'd recommend when you plan your emails as well, drop them for us in the community. Don't stress yourself up that like, oh, I need to get feedback before sending them. We can give you feedback before you send it after, but just having this feedback on each email is like very quickly you're going to pick up on what we say, and you'll notice your patterns basically and go, okay, this and that. You'll hear our voices when you design your email basically and go, oh no, Amy would say that's not bold enough or something. So definitely get feedback as you go as well and as you keep implementing. But yeah, thank you so much, Amy. I love those. This is so fun for me. I'm such a little nerd. This is my idea of fun at work. That was really enjoyable. I will put back on the screen as well. Oops, massively zoomed in on my screen. Amy's URL here. For those of you who need help with email marketing and Klaviyo, Amy is a pro at it. And so check thinksavydigital.com.au. And then if you're interested in working with both of us inside the Launchpad, it's just visit.co/Launchpad. It's all on my website anyway as well. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Amy, thank you so much. Is there anything I forgot that you want to say or all good?
No, I think all good for now. We'll have to do it again soon.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And maybe we should do something like that with like subject line or like looking at some good versus bad subject line and their performance or something like that would be fun. I think it's nice to focus on like one aspect because then if the problem is subject line, let's fix that. If the emails are being open, like it's the case for Zach, let's then fix the email. So yeah, I love those kind of like hyper specific things.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you, everyone, for being here live. Zach said, very helpful. I'm a little all over the place with design and trying different things. That's all right. It's a skill you can learn, and you will very quickly, I'm sure of it too. You're absolutely capable of like cleaning it up a bit. You're not that far. It's just like keeping those things in mind as you design them. Cool. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.